Um, if you've been following, we just got back from Barcelona. My son is in chiropractic college there. Odd, I did a bunch of these videos from Barcelona. I was going to try to show you the city because it's so cool looking. And all of them came back flawed somehow, and cut out in the middle, broken up. So we had to ditch them. I actually did one video twice, and it didn't work. So I don't know. You never know what that's about. But you don't get to see Barcelona. But one of the things just before we left, I had gone into a retail store here in Switzerland, and this gal behind the counter looked at me and she said, "Mick." And I looked at her for a long time, and she said, "You don't know me," and she's speaking Swiss German to me. And I'm not real good at that language, but I said, no, wait a minute. I know you, give me a second. And I finally got it, and it was one of the kids who used to live next door to us here in this little village. She's grown up, of course. She's 25 or something. And, she was working retail at this store, and we got talking back and forth. Her parents are divorced, and her dad moved to a town near here. And I was asking about him, because we were friends. He was also an immigrant. Our common language was Swiss German. He was Italian. He's better at languages than me. But we would mix in the middle between Swiss German and English. But I did some remodeling of the house, and he organized the crew and did a brilliant job of putting a whole bunch of natural stuff in the house. And then they got divorced at some point when we weren't here, and I hadn't seen him. So I asked her, "How's your dad doing?" And she said, he's doing pretty well. He's with a new partner, and he's living in Barcelona." And this is like a week before we're going to go. So I said, "Really? Your dad's in Barcelona?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "What's he doing?" She said, "Well, he has a restaurant." I said, "Nuh-uh." She said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, give me the name and the phone number." So she did give me the name and the phone number. And we went there one night, on a Monday night, and they were closed, and the phone number that we had wouldn't work. And if there's one thing I'm persistent if I want to do things. And I hadn't seen Bino in years, and I just thought it would be so much fun to see him after all these years, because we did get along well here. And so I called the restaurant, and I think it was he who answered, and I spoke in English to him, so he didn't understand a word I said. He kept saying "hola" in Spanish, and his Spanish isn't very good, so I hung up. I said, "Nicole, my wife," I said, "can you call a restaurant?" I said, "Let's go over there for dinner." And I said, "Let's make a reservation." I said, "Make up a name," right? So she called back, spoke in Italian to him, because she speaks a lot of languages, and made the reservation in our youngest daughter's middle name, so there's no way that he could guess. And we had reservations for 8 o'clock on Thursday night, and we walked into the restaurant, and here was my friend at the front. It's early in Spain to eat at 8 o'clock. He was right at the front counter, and he looked at me and I said, "Hola," and I looked him in the eye, and I said, "Hola." And he looked at me kind of funny. He turned away from me, and he looked back, and some of my kids had started to walk in, and he says, "Hola." But then he looks back at me, and he's kind of looking at me, and then Nicole walks through, and he just absolutely realizes who we are. He said, "Oh my God." It was so much fun to see him after all that time. He's got a great restaurant in Barcelona. If you get there, it's a little hard to find, Passaparola, but I'm going to like it on my Facebook thing. Excellent Italian food. He just treated us so well. It was a blast.